You wrote a book, an entire book. I've read that fewer than 10% of people who start a book actually finish it. But you did. You survived the grind of filling hundreds of pages with thousands of words. You got through the horror of getting to 40,000 words and realizing there's at least that many more to go. And the rewrites that made you question your ability to string a sentence together. Now what? Do you send it off to agents and wait 6 to 12 months for someone, maybe, possibly, if the stars align, to respond with, not for us, but best of luck? Or do you self-publish and actually get your story into readers' hands before your hair fully commits to silver? Today, I'm breaking down the self-publishing tips and advice every beginner should know. We'll cover how to build hype before launch, attract reviews, use social media without burning out, and keep sales growing long after the new release sticker comes off your cover. Whether you're learning how to self-publish a novel or figuring out how to market your self-published book, this video is for you. Self-publishing gives you complete freedom over your work. Kind of thrilling. It also gives you complete responsibility over what happens after you hit publish. That's slightly terrifying. At least it was to me. There's no publisher sending out advance copies or paying publicists to push your book onto the universe. There's just you waving proudly like someone who set up a tent beside a circus that already has more clowns than seats. But the good news is this. Book marketing for self-published authors isn't about becoming a loud, shouty salesperson. Done right, it's simply helping the right readers notice a book they'll genuinely enjoy. Readers want to discover great stories, and your job is to show them yours exists. If you begin marketing on launch day, you're already behind. Successful self-publishers, and I wish I'd known this myself, build anticipation long before release. Share your progress, your writing struggles, your character arc, your cover reveal, your jokes about editing that final chapter for the 9th time. The more you bring people along for the ride, the more they feel invested. When launch day finally arrives, they won't just know about your book, they'll feel part of it and proud of it. Think of it like inviting people to a surprise party. If no one knows the party exists, the surprise is just you alone with a cake. This is a cornerstone of self-publishing for beginners. Start early, be consistent, and get people excited about your story before the first copy hits the digital shelves. Social media platforms can ghost you without warning. Algorithms can change, accounts get suspended, attention spans evaporate, but email is a great weapon. Direct, personal, and again, something I wish I'd made better use of. Offer a reader something in exchange for signing up. It could be a short story or a deleted chapter, a first look at your cover. It's not bribery. It's the digital equivalent of welcoming people into your living room with snacks. Once you have the email list, you can share updates, pre-order announcements, and launch events directly without hoping the algorithm tosses you a crumb. This is an essential step in how to sell your self-published book. Your Amazon page is your storefront. It needs to look professional enough that readers trust you within the first half second. The human attention span being what it is now, somewhere between a goldfish with brain trauma and a puppy who's just spotted a butterfly. One thing I learned somewhere along the way probably sounds obvious, but I needed it pointed out with a neon sign. Your cover is the first thing that sells your book. As soon as they hear about it and they bounce over to take a look at what you have to give them, they look at the cover. So give that the attention it deserves. Done right, it's an essential part of how to market your self-published novel. But beyond that, your book description is the next working tool. A compelling description creates curiosity, maybe even desire if you do it right. Ideally not restraining order level desire, but you get the idea. Then come categories and keywords. These make sure your book appears where readers are already searching instead of being lost in some digital warehouse the size of, Jupiter. There's a lot to say about categories and keywords, and yes, I've learned some of it the slightly painful way. I'll talk more about some of the things I've learned about those in another video. Think of your sales page as a dating profile. Show your best side, emphasize your strengths, and avoid, oversharing the basement level details. A book with no reviews looks like a restaurant with an empty parking lot. Readers assume something must be wrong. Reviews signal trust, credibility, and popularity, whether or not you've achieved inner peace about your writing. Would you go to a hotel with 9 reviews? Build a group of early reviewers who want to help spread the word. Reach out to bookish communities, bloggers, bookstagrammers, and book talk creators who love your genre. When someone leaves a review, thank them like they just handed you a puppy wearing a tiny crown. Because in marketing terms, they kind of did. It's a key step in book marketing for self-published authors. Launch isn't a single day. It's at least a 2-week party, preferably a month. Build anticipation with a countdown. Share advanced reader copy, reader reactions. Talk about your characters like real people. Encourage your audience to engage, pre-order, and share. If it feels repetitive, you're probably doing it right. Repeat messaging builds visibility, and it's essential in marketing your self-published novel successfully. Books don't have expiration dates. Many of the most successful self-published titles don't explode immediately. They grow slowly, propelled by word of mouth, the occasional promotional push, and sometimes a single viral social media post months later. Keep revisiting your marketing. Run price promotions. Test small ads. Refresh your cover if trends shift. Pitch podcasts and collaborate with other authors in your genre. Visibility isn't a lightning strike. It's a dimmer switch gradually turning up. Remember, the self-published process is a cycle. Build, launch, sustain. Visibility is gradual, not instantaneous. As a final takeaway, I would say self-publishing isn't a publish and pray process. It's, as I've said, a cycle. You build, you launch, you sustain. You don't need to become a marketing guru. You just want to be a consistent advocate for a story you've worked really hard to write. Piece of advice I discovered along the way: remember, it's not a sprint. You don't need 100 sales on day one and then nothing. You want 10,000 sales over years. Hey, you made a book. That alone is extraordinary. Now give it the chance to be discovered. Celebrate every review, every message from a reader, every tiny win along the way, because each one means your words reached a real person. And that's really what this is all about. And then start the next one, because this creative life is wonderfully, beautifully, endlessly delusional, and we love it anyway. So, how to market your self-published book. Here it is in a nutshell. First, build your audience before you publish. Get people invested in the journey so launch day isn't a surprise to nobody. Second, if you can grow an email list, it's the single most reliable channel you own for converting interest into sales. Third, create a sales page that converts by pairing a genre-appropriate cover with a punchy description and some smart keywords. Fourth, prioritize reviews early. They're social proof and the oxygen that helps algorithms notice your book. Fifth, plan your launch as a campaign with multiple touch points, not a single post. Finally, keep marketing after launch with promotions, ads, collaborations, and occasional refreshes. Momentum builds over time, not always overnight. Break it down, act consistently, and a mountain that looked impossible becomes a series of climbable hills. What's your biggest marketing challenge right now? Email list growth, reviews, ads, or something weirder? I know, I've faced them all. Drop your questions and experiences in the comments, and I'll tackle one in a future video. No judgment for typos, panic attacks, or regrettable font choices. We've all been there.